often we say life goes on. It's a very often repeated phrase. But how many of us actually know what it takes to keep this life going? I did not know. And I thought my life was perfect. I met my husband Pankaj at work. I was 23 and he was 24. For about 4 years, we dated each other. And after a very topsy-turvy courtship, we decided to get married. Pankaj was a Punjabi Hindu, and I'm a Tamil Catholic. We had our doubts about religion being an issue, even the culture being an issue. But then we put it aside, and we wanted to get married to each other. So marriage was very interesting. When a Punjabi guy, Hindu guy, gets married to a Tamil Christian girl, I'm sure you can expect a lot of masala in it. So we had a lot of bickering, very interesting stuff happening in our marriage, but it all worked out smoothly. I first got married in a church, a white wedding. It was followed by a court marriage. On the third occasion, I got married in a red lehenga with the fairas, the typical Hindu wedding. So I got married to the same man 3 times, just to make sure. So life was pretty smooth. It was blessed. In spite of different religions, we never had any issue. Pankaj would come with me to the churches on Sundays, and I would attend pujas and do aartis. In my house, we had the picture of Jesus Christ and Lord Krishna next to each other, and there would be agarbatti in front of it. So it was that cool. And Christmas and Diwali both were like celebrated with gusto. Literally, it was like idli sambar rub shoulders with rajma chawal. Yeah, it was that cool. And we actually prided ourselves that we are managing it so well in spite of from 2 different cultures. It was good. Pankaj was doing very well in his career. So I decided to take a back seat and look after my only son. When my son was about 8 years old, my husband suddenly suggested, Grace, do you think we should have a second kid? And I was like, okay. I was already 38 at that time. He was like, I remember his words. He said, the older kid, he'll be a teenager very soon, and you'll be lonely. I was like, okay. I had complications in my first pregnancy, so we never thought about a second kid. But then, time, you tend to forget these things, and I said, okay, maybe we should have a second kid and complete the family. I still remember the day, it was 24th of December, Christmas Eve. And when I got the scan done, the doctor said, you're carrying twins. I was like, okay, 38 is not a very good age to have a kid, and then on top of that, having twins. But then I had a Punjabi husband who said, no, don't worry, everything will be sorted, and he was super excited. And though I had some complications during the pregnancy, I delivered 2 full-term babies. I still remember the time. Pankaj was in the operation theater capturing every moment. And the doctor said, the first one is a girl. I can still remember those words. And we were over the moon because we wanted a girl desperately. In our excitement, we literally forgot what the doctor was saying. He said, the second one is a boy. Oh, cool, very good. So it's like a girl and a boy. How better can it get, So I had an older kid, and I had twins, who was a girl and a boy, and a husband who was doing fantastic. So everything seemed sorted. Pankaj used to travel a lot due to his work commitments. So on this particular day, on this particular trip, he had gone to Kolkata, and he was supposed to come back on 6th of November. Due to some extended work commitments, he had to cancel his trip, and he decided to come back on the 7th of November, which was a Friday. Now, in spite of his travel and work commitments, he was one guy who would balance his family and work very well. So I was like, okay, he's coming back on the weekend, so we can have a good weekend kind of a thing. I was excited. Normally, whenever he boarded a flight, he would send me a text message. We didn't have WhatsApp then. He would just message me saying, boarded, love you. Now, that was like an indication, okay, now it will take 2 hours for the flight to land, or 2.5 hours for the flight to land. On that particular morning, I did not get a message. And I wasn't too concerned. I thought maybe it was a morning flight and he must be rushing to the airport. So I was like, okay, maybe he's forgotten, whatever. So around 11 o'clock, my driver was all set to go to the airport to receive Saab. I get a phone call on the landline. And this very shaky voice at the other end says, ma'am, sir has met with an accident, and he's admitted into the hospital. None of it sank or made sense to me. A lot of calls followed, because it happened in Kolkata, not in Mumbai. So someone said, no, don't worry, it's just a fracture, he's fine. Someone messaged me saying that, no, it's just a bit of injury, he's fine, don't worry. At around 2 p.m., I get a confirmation saying that Pankaj has had severe head injury, and he's in the ICU, and he's on ventilator. I flew to Kolkata immediately, leaving behind 3 children, one 9-year-old, and twins who were 4 months old. I go there and I see him in the ICU in coma, hooked onto a ventilator. So I was stationed in the hospital, and I prayed hard because you hear so many stories of people going to the brink of death and making it. So I thought maybe he's just going to open his eyes and say, Grace, I'm good, I'm fine, whatever. Nothing of that sort happened. On the 3rd day, the doctor called us and he said, I don't see any chances of him surviving. So maybe you should, as a family, should consider taking him off the ventilator. We weren't ready for that. We said, no, something might happen, some miracle will happen and he will open his eyes. Friends and family did pujas and prayers. Nothing of that sort happened. And on the 10th day, as I was getting ready to go to the hospital, I get a call saying that Pankaj is no more. I was 39. I lost the love of my life. I had 3 kids. Out of 2 of them would never know what it means to have a father in their lives. I had 2 options. One is just sit and moan, or get up and get going. I had decided early on that my kids have already lost a parent, and they're not going to see a very sad version of their mother. I had to show them what it was, to have Pankaj as a father. It was through me they will come to know. Amongst all this, I somehow was trying to manage, pull on. I could see that my daughter wasn't progressing or developing very well, red flags. But then I kept pushing it to the back of my mind, saying that, things can't be so cruel with me. It's just a passing phase, and probably she'll pick up, she'll catch up. And because I had another twin, it was very easy to compare both of them. And at the age of 3, my daughter got an official diagnosis of having autism. Autism is a developmental disorder which does not have a known cause, and neither does it have a known cure. So through tears and prayers, I started looking for therapists and doctors. I ran from this place, from one end of the town to the other end, trying to get her some good therapists, because therapy is the only thing that can bring the child to a certain level. Now, it's one thing to deal with the loss of a loved one, and it's another thing to deal with something where your child is going to have a lot of challenges in their life. That's really, really crushing. But then I can't give up. So I've been taking her to all kinds of therapists. Today, my daughter is 10 years old. She's a beautiful, beautiful child. She goes to a special school where she learns how to attend to her daily needs, like dressing herself up, how to go to the toilet, and stuff like that. Because she has autism, she's nonverbal. That means she cannot communicate. So with the help of the school, I'm trying to teach her to type on an iPad so that she communicates to me. The other twin is a very smart kid. His wisecracks keeps me laughing, and he's going to grade 5 now. And our older son is going to college this year. Of course, things are not smooth, but yes, we have come a long way since the time the incident happened. We are in a better space as compared to 8 to 10 years back. It's not easy. Every day is a struggle. There are challenges. But I have learned that every little positive thing that happens in our lives, I've learned to celebrate them. whatever comes my way, I've learned to deal with it, and I tell my children the same thing, deal with it. I want to make the best out of my life, not just for myself, but for my kids as well. I might not have won everything in this life, but I definitely call myself a survivor. Thank you.